most of us, when we're trying to solve some type of issue or trying to do something, we default to, well, let's just push through it. Let's just use, willpower.
Yeah.
We're just going to try to force ourselves to do it, and then it'll be done and we'll be happy.
Right.
Willpower doesn't work, at least not for long. We only have a certain amount of willpower. And this has actually been validated in a number of studies. And this is usually called, I call it willpower depletion. But in the literature is called ego depletion. Which is, think of, you have a finite amount of willpower. My friend PJ Eby calls these willpower points. Let's say you only have 100 willpower points a day. The more you use your willpower, the less points you have.
Totally makes sense.
Yes. Okay.
That's why every diet is blown at like 8:30 p.m.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay. So let's say, conflicting situation. Yeah. You are in a job you don't particularly like, and you have to force yourself to go in the morning and do all this work. You have to force yourself to do the work you don't like. And then you're also on a diet at the same time. Okay? By the time it comes time for you to eat, your willpower points are gone.
Yeah.
Okay? So donuts and coffee and really greasy fast food. I mean, you only have so much willpower to work with. And the more you use it, the less you have to do other things. And there was a series of famous experiments that are sometimes called the marshmallow experiments. I love this. They would take kindergartners, first grade, second grade. They would take them into a room and sit them on a table in a room, with very little other distraction.
Okay.
This is really mean, but it's kind of a fun study. They would ask, a particular candy. Sometimes it would be chocolate, sometimes it'd be marshmallow, whatever. And they would sit, little Jane or little Johnny down at the table and would say, okay, here's a square of chocolate, here's a marshmallow, here's a piece of candy. If you can either have this one now, that's fine. You can just pick it up and eat it, it's yours. Or if you can wait 5 minutes, which is an absolute eternity to a little kid. If you can wait, you can have 2.
That's not that mean.
Well, it's mean to the little kid because they really, really want this marshmallow or this chocolate or whatever. And they can have it, but they know that if they have it now, they're giving up something better in a little bit. Man, okay. And what the hypothesis for all of these experiments was that the children who were able to delay gratification longer, they were actually going to track these children over a long period of time and see how successful they were in school and in their jobs and college and all this stuff.
Cool.
What they found, they actually did repeated experiments, and one of the most interesting things that they found, there was a correlation between being able to delay gratification and being successful, by the way. But the other interesting thing that they found is they would test them multiple times repeatedly during the day. And if a kid did really, really well earlier on in the day, they did less well, measurably less well, in repeated experiments.
Wow.
And so there's a lot of research being done as to why this is. But if you wait 15 minutes for another square of chocolate, later on in the day, you may not have the patience to do that. So they're doing reasons to figure out, or trying to do studies to figure out, physiologically why this is. And the biggest factor is what they're thinking is blood glucose, which is why, if you're having a hard time starting something, a little piece of chocolate is a temporary boost to your blood glucose and can sometimes help you actually get started.
Yeah, makes sense.
Don't eat a whole chocolate bar that has other effects in accumulation. But they also think it's restored by sleep. So there's something that goes on in our brain.
Oh, totally.
It restores our ability to express willpower.
Oh, yeah.
But one of the things that falls out of this, which is what we're going to talk about next, structural determination, is environment plays a huge role.
Absolutely.
In your willpower. And so willpower depletion is, keep in mind, you only have so much willpower. And so if you're going to use it for things smartly. And we'll talk about how to do that next.